It all started with that one moment the internet can never forget, the night Bino stepped forward and confirmed the incident of little Junior tumbling off the bed while Chrisean reportedly shrugged it off with, "He is strong. Go back to sleep." And just like that, social media exploded. Viewers were stunned, confused, furious, because the baby could barely sit upright, and yet Cash spoke about him being strong after a fall that had everyone clutching their phones in disbelief. But listen, that is only the surface. The whispers did not stop there. Behind the scenes, Bino has allegedly been speaking more and more about Chrisean's parenting style, and the timing is suspicious. Breakups have a way of cracking open vaults that were never meant to see the light. And according to online chatter, Bino might not be acting alone. Hazel E, yes that Hazel E, is rumored to have plenty to say about how Junior is treated when the cameras stop rolling. The streets are talking again, and this time the whispers feel heavier, darker, and almost too uncomfortable to ignore. But wait, before you jump to conclusions, do you want the real twist? Many fans are calling out Bino himself, arguing that he should be the last person criticizing anyone's parenting. Why? Because we cannot forget that chaotic chapter before the breakup, the live stream that went viral for all the wrong reasons. Las Vegas hotel room, babies in the background, and in the middle of it all, a scene so wild the viewers immediately tagged the authorities. Within minutes, police and CPS stormed the suite after spotting weed, open alcohol bottles, nitrous oxide tanks, and pure chaos swirling around on camera. People in the comments were typing so fast the screen could barely keep up. According to official reports, there was evidence of smoking inside the room, which eventually led to Bino receiving a $1,000 fine since the hotel reservation was under his name. But here is the part that sent the internet into meltdown. Despite everything, after speaking with authorities, the couple was allowed to remain in the suite. No arrests. No removal. Just an eerie calm after the storm, and a comment section full of people who had absolutely no idea what to believe anymore. Honestly, nobody truly understands how they managed to walk away from that hotel incident without so much as a slap on the wrist, but let us move forward because the saga only gets messier from here. When Bino and Chrisean finally called it quits, he claimed the breaking point was her refusal to remove Blue's tattoo from her face. And ever since that breakup, it is as if he has been waiting, no, itching, to unload every unsettling detail he allegedly witnessed behind the scenes. And to be fair, if anyone has seen the unfiltered reality of how little Junior is treated, it would be the men she dated after giving birth. Bino included. Take this for example, the infamous "baby fell off the bed" moment. According to the claims, little Junior slipped, tumbled, and instead of Chrisean jumping up like any startled parent would, it was Bino who allegedly told her to grab the child. And her supposed response? "It will make him stronger. Go back to sleep." The entire internet collectively froze at that. Because no matter how anyone tries to spin it, that is not the type of reaction you expect when a baby, an infant, takes a dangerous fall. Online, people immediately lit up the comment sections calling it negligent. Viewers kept emphasizing that an infant's body is fragile, vulnerable, and unpredictable. Even a small fall can be serious. The fact that she reportedly brushed it off like it was a common Tuesday moment had people questioning not only her judgment, but whether she even understands the weight of basic safety. Yes, joking around is one thing. Carelessness with a baby is another. And sadly, this was not even the first eyebrow-raising situation. That one moment only poured gasoline on a fire that had already been burning quietly beneath the surface. In another interview moment that shook social media, Bino did not hold back. He said outright, flat, blunt, that she is not a good person and not a good mother, claiming he had no choice but to walk away before the entire situation destroyed his mental well-being. He insisted she needs to get their son into proper therapy, that she needs to step up, that this is the real issue nobody wants to talk about. He went as far as saying nothing is inherently wrong with the child except for the lack of consistency, structure, and proper care. And according to him, she is the only one who can change that. And as if that were not enough, more alleged claims began pouring out over the past couple of days. Bino reportedly said she smells, that she does not properly bathe the baby, and even confirmed, again, allegedly, that the child still cannot walk. It was a tidal wave of accusations so intense that online audiences did not know whether to gasp, cry, or argue. Once these allegations hit social media, reactions detonated like fireworks. Some fans expressed genuine fear, saying that if even a fraction of this is true, it paints a terrifying picture of the child's environment. Others tried to be empathetic, reminding everyone that parenting is brutally difficult and overwhelming, especially for young mothers navigating fame, pressure, and emotional turmoil. But then came the harsher voices, the ones demanding intervention, the ones calling the situation clear neglect, the ones demanding she get serious help before something irreversible happens. And then, the plot twist nobody asked for, Hazel E allegedly stepped right into the conversation. Word on the digital streets is that she has been chiming in privately, echoing the concerns, and openly questioning whether Chrisean is truly capable of handling motherhood. And if you are wondering why Hazel is suddenly invested in this chaos, well, the answer is rooted in something far more dramatic. Because yes, it looks like Hazel and Blue are officially a thing. They were first spotted together at Meme House Productions nightclub in Los Angeles, dancing close, flirting, whispering, the whole movie scene fantasy. Then people assumed it was just for a music video when they were seen again days later on set. But the confusion ended the moment Blue posted those Instagram story clips, soft date night lighting, Hazel leaning into him calling her his fancy date, and her responding with "welcome home." Oh, and let us not forget the multiple kisses and Hazel jokingly calling herself Blue's golden retriever. So yes, it is official. And with that official, Hazel is now officially wrapping herself into the drama surrounding Chrisean's parenting. Honestly, can we blame anyone for having an opinion at this point? This situation has been unfolding like a full-blown digital soap opera for months, and every time a new video, rumor, or allegation hits the timeline, it spirals into another internet explosion. It all began when a series of clips started circulating, footage many people swore were receipts, showing Chrisean either smoking or drinking during the periods when she was rumored to be pregnant. These were not small clips you could easily swipe away. These were the viral kind. The kind people screen record, slow down, zoom in, frame by frame analyze like detectives. They debated timelines, outfits, backgrounds, even lighting, trying to determine whether the footage aligned with her pregnancy stages or if it was old content resurfacing. TikTok became a digital crime lab. Instagram turned into a courtroom. YouTube became the investigative unit. Twitter? A wildfire. Everybody had theories. Everybody wanted the truth. Some insisted the clips were ancient and being taken out of context. Others were convinced they were recent and deeply concerning. Comment sections became battlegrounds filled with thousands of arguments, accusations, and emotional essays. No official statements. No clarifications. Just speculation feeding speculation, until the entire situation morphed into a scandal so massive that even people who had never heard of her were suddenly invested. And just when the public speculation felt like it could not get any louder, another bomb dropped, this time from someone who never hesitates to pour gasoline on an open flame, Blueface mother, Carlisa. Now listen, if there is one thing everyone knows about Carlisa, it is that she has never been allergic to drama. She steps into it the same way some people step into sunlight, boldly, unapologetically, and with a voice that carries. So when one of her followers asked the question the entire internet had been dancing around, why Chrisean allegedly was not tested for substances after giving birth in 2023, Carlisa did not blink. She did not soften. She did not dodge. She simply dropped her answer like a brick through a window. The follower, clearly frustrated and confused, wrote something along the lines of, "Hospitals always test mothers for substances. They call CPS instantly. How does this make sense? If all these allegations are true, then why is that baby not in the right care?" It was the type of question that comes from someone staring at a puzzle that refuses to fit, someone saying, "Something does not add up here." And honestly, millions silently agreed. Carlissa's response? Brutally direct. She claimed that Chrisean did not give birth in a standard hospital at all. According to her, the delivery happened outside a typical medical setting, no traditional protocols, no mandatory screenings, no regulated environment. And the second she said it, social media ignited again, because if that were true, suddenly all the missing pieces began forming a terrifying picture: no flagged newborn tests, no automatic substance checks, no mandated reporting, nothing. It raised even darker questions. Why choose a delivery outside a regulated hospital? Was it privacy? Was it fear? Was there something deeper happening behind closed doors that none of us knew about? And of course, the internet did what it always does. It began connecting that claim to an earlier rumor that had circulated months prior. A rumor about an untreated infection during her pregnancy. Completely unconfirmed, yes, but that never stops the public. People began speculating that if there were medical complications, a traditional hospital might not have allowed a free-form delivery until those issues were properly addressed. So for the rumor believers, this non-hospital birth suddenly made too much sense. Meanwhile, others pushed back, saying plenty of women choose birthing centers or home births for personal, emotional, or cultural reasons, and speculation should not replace actual facts. But on social media, truth moves slower than gossip. Rumors sprint, facts crawl. And once that conversation started rolling downhill, it became its own storyline with its own shadowy momentum. But the debate hit an entirely new level once the baby was introduced to the world. Viewers began analyzing features, small details that, to the untrained eye, might seem harmless, but to online speculators became critical evidence. People circled the folds near the corners of his eyes, the slightly smaller eye shape, the softer curve of his nose, the resting open-mouth posture, the shape of his ears. And from there, whisper theories evolved into loud accusations. Some self-proclaimed experts, along with individuals who claimed experience with children affected by fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, began suggesting that the baby's features aligned with FAS indicators. Now, this is an extremely sensitive, deeply medical topic. But the internet rarely treats sensitive topics responsibly. Suddenly, there were screenshots everywhere. Side-by-side comparisons. Medical charts. Diagrams. Threads claiming diagnostic insight. Entire comment wars erupted between those defending the baby fiercely, saying he looked absolutely normal, and those insisting the features pointed to something more. And all of this was coming from strangers online. People who had never examined the baby. People with no professional medical roles. It became a digital tug-of-war, with an innocent child at the center of thousands of assumptions. Meanwhile, critics kept pointing back to the old videos, those viral clips of Chrisean partying, drinking, or smoking. Her supporters countered instantly, insisting the clips were outdated, misinterpreted, or strategically resurfaced to feed the narrative. But critics fired back, claiming some videos clearly aligned with the timeline of her pregnancy. They referenced dates, events, outfits, body size, even the way her stomach looked in certain frames. The internet turned into a full forensic analysis team. People were zooming in on bottle labels, pausing at every puff of smoke, slowing down footage to analyze body movements, and even referencing background voices to determine who was present and when. Every frame was suddenly evidence. Every screenshot was another argument waiting to erupt. And what further complicated this entire storm was the fact that Chrisean lives publicly, painfully publicly. She is on live streams, in interviews, on reality shows, posting raw, unfiltered moments of her life. People have felt like they were witnessing her journey in real time, like they were entitled to interpret every moment. And when something is public, when every tear, fight, laugh, and misstep is broadcast, the public responds. Sometimes fairly. Often unfairly. But always loudly. And once the public forms an opinion, it spreads like wildfire, far faster than any official statement could ever catch up with. And then came the issue that pushed the internet into full detective mode: hospital protocols. Commenters all over TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube kept repeating the same question: if this situation were happening in a standard hospital, where suspicion of alcohol or substance use automatically triggers testing, then how did none of this get flagged? How did medical staff not intervene? Why did Child Protective Services stay silent? People started dissecting every angle, every possibility, until Carlissa's earlier comment about a non-traditional birth location returned like a ghost at the center of the conversation. Those who believed her said that everything suddenly made sense. If the birth happened outside a regulated medical facility, then the usual screenings, alerts, and protocols simply would not exist. But others accused her of stirring drama for attention, something she has been known to do. Social media kept swinging wildly between believing every word she said and dismissing her entirely. This situation stopped being ordinary gossip a long time ago. It evolved into something deeper, a reflection of how the internet handles motherhood, accountability, trauma, public perception, and the blurred line between genuine concern and destructive speculation. Some people expressed real, heartfelt worry for the baby, insisting that even if the allegations were false, it was still important to discuss prenatal health and the risks of substance use during pregnancy. Others accused the public of being cruel, invasive, and judgmental toward a new mother and a newborn child. Many pointed out that Chrisean has been transparent about her struggles, her upbringing, her chaotic relationship, and her mental health. They argued that she needed support and resources, not a public trial by strangers. But despite the sympathy, the rumors did not stop. Every video of the baby, every sneeze, every cry, every sleepy expression, triggered another avalanche of speculation. People would analyze his developmental signs in the comments, comparing them to milestone charts and medical checklists. Some viewers praised how bright and alert he looked. Others insisted they still saw red flags. It became an endless cycle where anyone searching for evidence could find something to support whatever narrative they already believed. Meanwhile, Chrisean continued posting content, living her life publicly, and raising her baby in full view of millions. And Carlisa continued dropping comments that kept the fire burning. The entire story spiraled into something people became emotionally invested in, even though none of them were part of the family, none of them had access to real medical documents, and none of them truly knew what had happened behind closed doors. It became a digital novel, shaped by half-truths, assumptions, emotional reactions, and a mother constantly under the internet's microscope. And through everything, the accusations, the defenses, the debates, one truth sat in the middle like an unanswered riddle. Nobody outside the family knows what really occurred during the pregnancy, what the baby's actual health conditions are, what doctors did or did not do, or which rumors carry any truth. All the internet has been reacting to is a blend of public footage, emotional reactions, and interpretations from strangers. Yet the conversations persisted, feeding on themselves, tangling into a narrative fueled by concern, shock, and endless what-ifs. And then came another spark. People started commenting on the baby's high-pitched crying, with a few comparing it to cries associated with neonatal withdrawal or rare conditions like Cri-du-Chat syndrome. These claims, whether accurate or not, kicked off discussions about alcohol exposure in the womb and withdrawal symptoms in newborns. Again, none of this was confirmed, but the concerns were enough to ignite another wave of fear, arguments, and emotional reactions. People kept saying, if she were taking the baby to a proper hospital, they would have told her exactly what was going on. But those who believed Carlissa's claims insisted that if the birth happened outside a regulated medical setting, then perhaps medical professionals simply looked the other way. That possibility terrified people. And then Carlissa went nuclear, this time, turning her anger toward Chrisean's sister, Tessa. Her message was raw, almost shaking with frustration. Stop threatening everybody, including me. Go work on it mentally. I am suffering from what I see. I am reacting. I am angry, hurt, and overwhelmed. But I am not talking to any of you who stood there and did nothing. You watched her. You were scared. She controlled the money. The implication was brutal, that the entire family enabled her behavior during the pregnancy, too afraid to intervene because they needed her financially. According to Carlissa, if she were in Tessa's place, she would have made sure Chrisean got help instead of letting things spiral. And when you look at everything together, Bino's accusations, Hazel E's alleged comments, Carlissa's outbursts, you see a pattern forming. These are not internet trolls. These are people who claim to have seen her life up close. People who were around during the pregnancy. People who lived the chaos instead of watching it through a screen. And they are all suddenly saying the same thing. That is why the internet is so tense. Because now every detail, every cry, every expression, every delayed milestone, is being labeled as a consequence of adult decisions. People are afraid that the child is carrying the weight of the environment he was born into. Social media amplified everything to a terrifying degree. The moment clips of Junior crying went viral, the comment sections erupted. Some mothers posted their own experiences. Nurses chimed in with medical terms. People claiming neonatal expertise talked about tremors, high-pitched cries, rapid breathing, stiff arms, clenched fists. It was like a virtual medical panel diagnosing a baby through phone screens. Even if not every comment was medically accurate, the emotional concern behind them was unmistakable. But the darkest part, the part people avoid saying out loud, is accountability. Everyone is pointing fingers. At Chrisean. At her family. At Blueface. At the friends. At the doctors. At the system. But very few